Alright, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the Lowrance X510C. It's a pretty good rig. It's normally used for boats, so that's what it's doing right now. That's the graph that it's showing on the screen. The way that I use it is for ice fishing, and so it'll be a little bit different, but you can kind of get the basics of what's happening in this program. Okay, so I'm going to go over just a couple quick features right here that I normally use that are kind of the basics. You can go through and learn some of the things if you get one on yourself by yourself, or you can comment and ask me maybe what something means. Anyway, so one of the features here is you can zoom in to the different parts, so you can see here. So here is the volts. That's how much is left in the battery. Usually when I start out, it's about 12.2 to 12.4. I used it most of today for ice fishing, so it's 11.9 versus 12. This is the depth, so depending on how, you can see here, this is your depth. So we were at 20 feet there, we're at 54, 53, 52, 51, and you're driving. So this would be if you're going in a boat. It's telling you the different depths. These arches are something that's in the water. Depends on how you have your mode set, what it is. Usually an arch kind of like that one means a fish, 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 fish. If it's a big arch like that, it might be a rock or a stump, just whatever your sonar is bouncing off of. A lot of times they come with a transducer that is shaped kind of like an L, and that is to mount it onto the transom of your boat. Mine is for ice fishing, so I just put it down into the hole and it's good to go. So this is your sonar mode. One of the other modes you have is your flasher, which is more for ice fishing, and it does kind of the same basic thing. I'll try and explain it to you. Okay, so what we have here, this is your chart speed. I always have it set on the quickest possible because I'm just sitting there on the ice watching whatever swims by me. If you're going on a boat, it might be a little bit different. I've never used it on a boat. So what you can do is you can slow down your chart speed. How you get there is you go menu, chart speed, and then you can slow it down so you can see that it's going quite a bit slower. This way you can kind of see what's going on below you depending on how fast you're driving. Like I said, I usually have it all the way up, but I'm ice fishing. Then you have your flasher mode. If you go to mode, flasher. So this is meant for more of ice fishing, not so much in a boat. What it's doing is this number is telling you your depth. That solid black line is your depth. So you can see it getting shallower. And then these little lines, depending on how you have it set, will be fish. Let me go ahead and see if I can slow it down again a little bit more, so I can see if I can explain it to you. Alright, so we're going pretty slow here. Your line's going up, so you'll probably see a line. See that little line? You saw that little black line. These lines are something that's in the water. It could be fish. The thicker the line, the bigger the object is. Like I said, I usually use the flasher mode. That's what I like more, or the sonar mode. So let's explain it to me what it is. Here you have your sensitivity. So if you go sensitivity, it shows you the thicker the lines get, it picks up more debris. So these could just be moss, algae blooms. These little arches probably are fish. So it depends on how deep you are, what kind of sensitivity you are. It'll pick up your lure depending on how you set the sensitivity. Or if you go all the way down, take your sensitivity a lot farther down, it picks up a lot less clutter and whatnot. I usually have mine set about right here on the graph. So it's red, yellow, green. I have mine usually set somewhere in the yellow, but it depends on how big my lure is and how deep I am. So we'll hit enter. You also have your color range. You can change it. You can change your color range to, hold on. So you can set your different colors. You can choose your frequency, surface clarity, noise rejection. You can do fish symbols, fish depths, those. I haven't seen any benefits in them, but I haven't really messed around with them a whole lot. You can change your color if you're colorblind or you just like a different color. I have mine set to the blue background. That's just what works best for me. So you can see I switched it there twice. So that was the blue, that was the other one. Just a little bit different colors. Like I said, that's all personal preference. If you're night fishing, depending on what you're doing, your ping speed is how much your transducer is reflecting off stuff. So it will be sending out more signals to come back at different speeds. So the main ones I use are the sensitivity and the depth range. You can change it to whatever you want, however far you're fishing down. You can do overlaid data. It eats up a little bit more of your battery, I've noticed. So you can do the depth, voltage. If you press enter, you can add the time, you can add water temperature, just a few different things. So there you go. Let's see if we can come down here. So those are just some of the different things you can do with that. If you click menu twice, it brings up more things. So transparency, that's the overlay. Your voltage will be more transparent. You can do sonar alarms. So if you hit a fish or not, then it'll let you know. But I don't hardly use anything on this one. The main one I use is sensitivity. Chart speed, I have it set all the way as fast as it'll go, and then my depth range. Then you can set your alarm just by pushing that button, and then your dimness, depending on if it's day or night. That'll let you know. So I have it on most full power. I use it in the winter, so my battery doesn't last me quite as long on full power. It'll last me anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. Usually I have it set on this setting, and if it's at nighttime, I turn it down as far as I can because I don't need it to be that bright. And then the arrows over here, if I push this, there's going to be a little black line that comes across. You see it moving. It tells you the depth that was at, just so you can remember if you forget or want to know exactly what it was. The up and down arrows usually for if you zoom in, you can look up or look down. It kind of gives you your different depths, so you can zoom in pretty far. You can also, if you go to mode, you can do split screen. What that does is it shows you the full depth range, but then you can also on this side zoom in to whatever you want it to be, wherever you want to see. So you can be able to see the top, or if you're fishing the bottom of the lake, you can look and see the bottom. So this will show you if there's a fish comes across, like those will be little fish, but over here it's showing the view of the bottom. Sometimes I do that if I'm fishing really deep water or new bodies of water. That way I can see the full water column. Then over here I can zoom in to where my lure is actually at. And that's the basics of the Lowrance X510C. I've seen a couple older Lowrances that are very similar. I would think they're handle the same, have the same menus. There's a couple other brands that have the same layout, so I'm presuming they worked together and made some kind of a interface, and they're probably pretty interchangeable, I think, as far as learning compatibility. And if you have any other questions, let me know.